As we watch this, all the razzmatazz of a top international show.
Very much so, very much so.
For the athletes, it must be wonderful, Greg.
I don't even know if they're taking any notice, to be honest. You know what them athletes are like. They're just thinking of fighting. If they're thinking about anything else, it's not good, Malcolm. So, yeah, wonderful interlude there, but the referee's doing a great job so far. Really impressed with the referee. He's been nice and consistent. So, all respect to them.
And we are live on Facebook pay-per-view for the whole of the 10K Karate Clash. The Super 8 Cup for the women, £10,000 to the winner of the male tournament. And in group number 3, Gavin Bailey in the red, David McCright in the blue.
Brilliant, again, it's going to be a good fight. Gavin's been up at the training camp in Manchester for the last 3 months. He's had the benefits of all that Team GB can offer. Let's see what he can deliver. I would say David needs to look to score first on Gavin, because we know that Gavin's got great timing on his punches. David needs to take advantage of the fight first. He needs to get the advantage first.
And again, Greg, I know I'm no spring chicken anymore. I did the very first 10K Karate Clash, but they look so young.
Oh, they do look young. They look ridiculously young, because most of them are young. They're under 20, most of them are no more than 23. But tremendous athletes, and a lot of them started karate 5-6 years old, so they've been training. Great point. They've been training since, for 15 years, many of them.
And Greg, as you've mentioned across this tournament, you're such a firm believer in the first point.
Without a doubt, because that enables you to gauge the fight. It enables you to take advantage of your opponents, and psychologically, it gives you a little bit more control at the key stages in the fight. Once you get that point, you've got to have a plan on how to defend it. It's no point just scoring it and saying, right, I've got the first point. You've got to know how to defend it, and it could be the defense that it's through attacking. It could be that. It's up to you, but you should have a plan for it. Again, Gavin should be doubling them hands up. He hit with a great body shot. Look to the referee. Great point, bad focus. He could have hit him with a body shot and with a head shot there.
And Greg, it's a thread that you've seen go through this tournament, isn't it? Something that the guys will have to look at the very highest level now, because that's what these guys are. They're at the highest level, and that's when margins really count.
There is not a top fighter who will tell you that they've not lost a point through looking at a referee or losing concentration. They all do it, they've all done it, and it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit. It means that the fighter is not focused on their job. The job of your coach is to look at everything else, as well as you fight. Your fight is to watch your opponent and be ready to score a point at all times. As a coach, I continually impress this on the fighters. Their job, they're not wearing grey trousers, they're wearing white bottoms. Their job is to fight. The referees let them do their job.
And again, we've already seen tonight in some of the techniques thrown from the likes of Musa Edwards and now Gavin Bailey, that genuine fearlessness of youth.
Oh, without a doubt. Unquestionably, that fearlessness is everything, because it enables you to be committed and convicted to whatever you're doing.
And to not put too fine a point on it, Olympic recognition now, just how much of a factor is that for these youngsters, for their future, for their desire to stay in the sport?
Yeah. Olympic recognition has now superseded the World Championships as the pinnacle of competition karate. Any fighter, any athlete who wants to fight, see how well they've done, want to go to the Olympics. And now with karate in the Olympics, we now have a platform not to just win medals, but to win medals and be shown to be winning medals in the biggest tournament in the world.
And the 10K Karate Clash is a showcase for the very best we have to offer. And how good is that at world level, Greg?
It shows tremendous insight and personal investment from John and Joe, because what it's done is them recognizing that karate is now Olympic sport, and there is now a platform out there for illuminating and highlighting the best of what Britain's got, so that we can actually have sponsors looking at these athletes, looking at how karate can actually be utilising the same mechanisms for getting up there with other sports.
Greg, Gavin Bailey on fire. That timing there for that punch was just superb.
Very much so. And it was a head punch, and it was beautifully timed. And again, moving off the back foot. So that shows again just how fast Gavin is. He attacked off the back foot there.
And we saw with Jordan Thomas, the spring in his step, he knew. He was like a racehorse there. He galloped back to his, he knew 2 great points, one after the other.
Be under no illusion. You can see the benefits of the Team GB camp here. I've mentioned it a few times. These athletes have been training with their coach Jason up in Manchester since the beginning of the year. Full-time karate, and it's starting to yield dividends. At the moment, there's some difficulties with the guys there, and their opportunities to keep utilising those facilities. But from our perspective as fans and as a captive audience, we can see the benefits of it.
And superb movement again from Gavin Bailey. And we've seen how important it is to start fast and accurate in these group stages, and he's certainly done that. Great
observation there, Malcolm. Fast and accurate. Again, tremendous focus of Gavin. And for someone who known Gavin a long time, great to see improvements in his kicking ability and his sweeping, consolidating his great punching skills with much wider skill sets. Great to see, and a good fight. Definitely one to watch there, Malcolm.
I was going to say, he sat at his stall in that group 3.
Definitely, Malcolm. He really did. He's made a statement. He was composed, and he done what he had to do. Ryan again, a really competent fighter. Great pedigree. Be interested to see how he fares here. He's normally about 75 kilos, but he's normally 75 kilos. But he looks like he might be a little bit over that at the moment. But great fighter, Ryan.
And he's up against Josh Iglido here in this opening round.
Again, Josh, we saw him last year, Josh. He's back. He knows exactly what's in front of him in regards to the calibre of the opponents. He needs to, again, come out, grab them points early.
Greg, I think you hit it on the nail at the very beginning of the opening groups, Group 1. Every bout's a final. Every bout, without a doubt. If you're not thinking that way, you are not going to win. It's simple as that. You must have that level of intensity every fight. And Ryan J walking Josh down, looking for that reverse punch to the midsection, and it's been an underutilised punch to the midsection in this tournament, hasn't it? It's become, it used to be the staple diet of competition karate through the 90s, well, through the 70s, 80s and 90s. Very much led by British fighters as well, and everybody else following us. But it's now changed. It's changed with the rules, changing up the points from only being able to score 1 point with a reverse punch, which means that a technique that is very risky now doesn't have to be taken. The risk doesn't have to be taken when you can grab or duck. Going for a reverse punch is a risky technique. If it yields 1 point, whereas back in the day you could get 2 for it if it's executed properly, you ask yourself, well, why am I going to kill myself doing it? And is that why tonight we've seen so many of the young men duck with some sort of confidence because they're sure that the reverse punch isn't coming through? Exactly, and that's how the fighting's changed. But I'm a great believer in the importance of reverse punch because, like that, because what it does, it makes a statement about your conviction and your commitment, the principle of sen no sen, of just going forward when someone's coming at you. And that's what makes us karate. Our ability to move into someone who is coming at us with real intensity and menace and to just stop them in their tracks. So I'm an advocate for it. I think it's very important. Without great stuff, great kick, without compromising the other techniques, I think that you can bring it all in. Well, Ryan J is backing up your words. It's almost as if he's heard you, Greg, because that's exactly what he did. He did the reverse punch again, then the hook kick over the top afterwards. Oh, he's very, very able, Ryan. He's a very able fighter. I had the pleasure of coaching him in a couple of Europeans and World Championships where he got medals, and he was one of the easiest fighters to work with. This guy knows how to win fights. Josh has to chase now. He really does, and in chasing, he's going to be running into a lot of trouble because this is what Ryan does well. He knows he's as a junior, he was one of the most mature fighters out there. He just knew how to fight, how to score points, how to hold on to points.
and how to cope with pressure. And now as a senior, you can see that he just has got great composure. Great composure.
And you mentioned maturity so that as a senior now, and that's another thing, realising that the reverse punch isn't redundant, that you can still use it at the right times. Now for me, he's used that twice perfectly. The second time is a setup, and now he's 4-0 up.
Malcolm, again, very, very true. And this is so important. Because other people may not be doing it, doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you're following other fighters, especially some of the guys who are winning in the Europeans and Worlds from other countries, then if you're following what they're doing, you're behind them. If you follow, you're behind. Sometimes you've got to reclaim or make something yours, so that they start having to respond to something that you've done and they haven't trained for.
And the old adage from us old timers, Greg, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And us British fighters were known for our ability to hit hard, hit confidently, and stop an opponent. And we've lost that in many respects. And I think if we can actually realign our fighting and understand what our British template is, then that will help us progress again as a nation and become back at the top. Alongside, of course, great infrastructure and the resources that the other countries have got as well. But we need a template. We need our coaches to get together and work out what it is that makes a great British fighter and invest in it. Great technique. That almost is too easy.
Well, the thing was, we said Josh has to chase. Ryan knew that. You talk about that maturity. He was there. He was waiting. He knew what Josh had to do, and the execution was perfect, Greg. That was superb.
Ryan is a smart fighter. Always has been. Always has been. He's not the best trainer. He doesn't. He's you have to get him motivated to get the training. But as a fighter, he's a really smart fighter. And as I said, I coached him in a Europeans and a World Championships to both finals. And for the first 4 rounds, I had to hardly say anything. I've got to give credit to his club coaches as well for how well they prepared him, because he was just the finished article at that stage in his career.
Well, now we have Mitchell Thorpe in the red, Benwell in the blue.
Again, Mitchell, another talented fighter, another European medalist at junior level, and a great fighter with great confidence.
And for me, Greg, this group has proved very talented, the most open and free-flowing of the group so far.
Very true, Malcolm. Very free-flowing, very clinical, clear points, user-friendly for the cameras.
And again for the crowd, Ryan's kicking. The crowd absolutely loved it. And we've still got René Small to come.
Very much so, because what they can do, they can see the points. And for those people who don't do karate, they can be walked through the process by saying, I can see what's going on there. These guys in this round are really making good, clean points, and it's good to see.
You mentioned clean, Greg. One of the things that always I'm amazed with the karateka, that style hook kick in a full contact situation or self-defense situation, the heel blasts into the head and you knock someone clean out. Twice he did that, and his timing and control to say to the judges, this is clean, it's here, and yet still not connect with the skull, with the bone of that heel was incredible.
It's harder to control the technique than not to control it.
And a spinning technique,
exactly.
A technique.
And that's the statement that karate needs to really impress, that it's not about knocking your opponent out. We can do that. It's about demonstrating our skills and our ability in a respectful manner against your opponent. And that's what karate is about. Without a doubt, all he needs to do is point his heel in the opposite direction, and he'll hit a jaw and it'll break it. So that's the difference. That's what's different about karate.
And it was just beautifully executed. The timing,
so.
Everything.
Yeah, it was just smart. And again, we got Mitchell grabbing the first point, and now he's put Ben under pressure here. He's put pressure under pressure, and he's maintaining the pressure. So he's forcing Ben to fight, but he's fighting Mitchell's fight here.
Now, in boxing terms, when you say he's forcing him to fight, in boxing terms, for people that might be watching on Facebook, Mitchell is, for their terms, staying in the pocket to push Ben back, isn't he?
Exactly. So what he's doing is that he scored the first point. He knows that Ben's got to come, so he's actually putting pressure on the Ben to make Ben go when he doesn't necessarily want to, so that he can nick the point. And again, it's a very, very smart way to fight, because he's maintaining pressure. Again, great timing. Again, look, he's got the centre of the mat there, Malcolm, and he's controlling the fight.
That's what I'm saying about the pocket in boxing terms. It's like psychological, and he's staying there. And then you can understand why Ben might be feeling not intimidated, but you know what I mean, under pressure to work, and then suddenly he's picked off.
Very much so. Very much so. Mitchell's inside there with his reverse punch. Good timing. So Ben doubled up there to the Jordan, 2 punches to the head. Mitchell got inside the first punch and beat him to the second one. Good timing.
And as we've watched this, we're in Group 3 now, and as I've been talking to you and listening to your comments on their techniques, the range, there's so much that these athletes have to think about when the sport is, in one respect, nothing's easier than knocking someone out spark cold. When we see boxing, that's why people love boxing. You spark him out cold, nothing's easier. But to have this, there's so much that goes on in a sport like karate where you're not allowed that.
And I think, Malcolm, the terms you're using are very, very key. There's a big difference between sport and art. Karate is still very much focused on the art side, about showing the skill and the disciplines that actually enable people to not to just train, but to train for life. It is art first, then sport. And with that is a way of life, and that's what's demonstrated in these fighters. I'd like to think that when they stop competing, that they can continue to train karate and look to improve what they've done, even though they've stopped competing. That's a skill.
And Mitchell Thorpe there used his mind, his ability perfectly, didn't he? That for me was possibly the best technical performance so far.
Very much so. Very smart, very focused.
Now, we talk about legends here at the 10K. Everybody loves Rene Smile.
Yeah, he's a great fighter.
And he's against Rory Kavanagh, but let's be honest, Greg, 2017 he was not on form.
He wasn't, but he was still loved because everyone could see his ability and what he's got. He will be on form now because this is World Championship year, and he needs to win some fights and to get his confidence up for the World Championships, and then that's a precursor to the Olympics. Good performance there. It helps you put you in the running for the Olympics.
I mean, we know him as the baby-faced assassin, and he did so well in the earlier 10Ks when he really did look like a kindergarten boy.
That's right. I mean, there's him and there's Timothy Peterson, who are both similar sort of looks, in which Timothy Peterson from the Netherlands, who've got that young look about them. But their looks belie their ability.
But last year he went out early doors, didn't he?
He did indeed, and he needs to find his target here. His timing's good, but again, target needs to be on to knock them points up. The timing was there just there with that counter, but he missed it. He missed the target. Seems like excellent point there. Excellent point from
Rory Kavanagh. Beautiful timing there. That's what we mentioned about the timing and the control of the technique.
Beautiful, yeah, beautiful, and the distance which he hit him from. Rory's very long, but he was still very close up, and he caught Rene there before, when Rene didn't expect to get hit in the head. Oh,
and he's done it back. This is what I was saying, Greg. Yeah. That's what we're used to seeing from Rene. We're used to seeing that big smile, and that's the technique. He got caught with the technique he uses on you, and he's just thrown it straight back. This is more like the Rene Small that the crowd absolutely love.
That's right, and it's a great psychological tool there. Get hit with something and give it back. Give it back, and great fight. This is what people have tuned in for, Malcolm.
And he fights with a smile on his face. Even last year when he was off sorts. Big grin.
Yeah, he loves it. He just loves the competition. Hey, brilliant. That was just controlling. Again, fighter switches off, thinks that it's all over. Rene stays on top of the fight and commands the point. And they're warning him for that because he held on for too long. But nevertheless, psychologically, it's made some impact there. Oh, nice there. Nice double leg kick there.
Yes, win or lose this back because it's still close with Rory. He started far better than he did in 2017.
Definitely.
And one thing these two have done, Rory and Rene, is something you said right from the start. They haven't looked for the referees. They've continued consistently, just like that.
Yeah, they have.
Until the referees have said stop. They have not stopped either man.
They're very focused on the fight. Very focused. Getting a warning there. Better watch himself. Got two there now. Again, ducking there when he could be punching.
And again, Rory thought he had the point, but he kept going.
Yep, definitely. Again, but there you see the lack of focus, Malcolm. Yeah, he grabbed him. He's not focused on what could be coming his way.
And that's Rene. The crowd went crazy. They expect that from him.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, beautiful. Look at that technique. That is incredible technique there. To spin and to hold your balance and to do a kick. Beautiful. Beautiful again.
Oh, the crowd are loving this one. As I
are.
said to you, Greg, I feel this group have been the most free-flowing, the most dynamic. They've really
tremendous
gone for
ability.
it.
Tremendous ability. Tremendous ability. And
timing from Rene there was superb. Well, he's put last year behind him, definitely, Greg.
oh, he has. He has. As I said, it's World Championship year. There's no room. There's no room for poor fighting this year.
And the kicking that we all love Rene for, we've seen come to the fore here, but we've seen it from Rory Kavanagh as well. Look at this, both of them,
definitely.
Flamboyant and accurate and crowd-pleasing.
Definitely. But he needs to stay focused if he wants to stay, because Rory's a beautiful kicker with great timing and kicking unconventional times as well.
Oh, this group is on fire. This has been wonderful from the opening back.
It really has, Malcolm. I'm really impressed. Again, Rene needs to stay switched on, because Rory is really hungry to get his points back. Again, Rory, stay on it, Rene. Stop looking round.
And he's got Rory's glove and he smiles. And he
Jolly
hands it
decent
back.
of him now.
You've got to love you, Rene.
Good fight there, but they've worked. They've had a really, really high intensity fight there. They're feeling the pace there. Plus, it's compounded by them lights and the raised platform. (8-3) to Rene here. He should really hold on to this fight, but Rory is a real talent. Real talent.
And again, they carry on. They don't wait
No,
to look
that's
to the
it.
referees.
Again, he's just trying to see the bout out now. Rene is a seasoned pro there, trying to see the bout out, just doing enough to keep himself safe and keep himself away from the warnings. Oh, lovely, lovely again.
His timing's on fire tonight,
Class.
Greg.
That's just class.
And there's the big grin. He's really been back on form. That's the Rene Small that I
Very
like to
much
see.
so. That is class. That's 11-3. Great fight. And again, he's going to be hard work to beat.
But what a matchup, Mitchell Thorpe.
Yes, it's going to be a real good matchup. But Mitchell's going to have his work cut out there with Rene. Rene is bigger, and he's fighting sharp. So Mitchell will have to use all his speed and all his movement.
And Rene is on fire. It's the Rene we know. But here we've got Gavin Bailey and Ryan Jay. Again, both young men came out blocks. This group has been fascinating.
Yes, it has. And again, really, really, really good matchup here. We've got Ryan, who is, again, someone who's on the junior team with Gavin. They know each other inside out. Gavin's had the benefit of the camp for the last 3 months, so he's good to go. Ryan, on the other hand, is got great experience, knows how to win championships, get medals in championships, and significantly is much bigger.
But the crowd, they've really gone up a notch tonight in this Group 3, Greg.
They really have, Malcolm. They're really enjoying what they're seeing, because they know that they have been witnessing some of really quality karate here today.
I've just liked the freedom of expression in Group 3. It's been wonderful.
It really has. Yeah, the dexterity of techniques that they've been using, the movement, the to and fro, it's all there. But Gavin's going to have his work cut out with Ryan. As we said, we saw how composed Ryan was in his last match, and he has fought Gavin a number of times, so it's going to be interesting. Gavin will have to use everything that he's got out of the benefits from that benefited from that camp.
And again, very close between these two.
Again, look at that for a big man. Great movements, great speed there for from Ryan. Ryan's not looking as fit as I've known him to be, though. I mean, he's definitely not as lean as I've seen him before, but nevertheless, one thing you'll always have is good timing.
It's just that you worry for someone, if they're, for want of a better term, just carrying a bit across a full tournament, isn't it? When
yeah, it takes
you're
its
down
toll.
in the trenches, semi-final, maybe the final.
Very much so, Malcolm. Very much so. It just does catch up with you. You must know that when you stand in front of your opponent, that you've trained and prepared as well as him. Very important.
Well, no risk taken so far in this one, Greg.
It is tight. It is tight. As I said, they know each other well. As juniors, they've been away to Europeans and World Championships with each other. They know each other well. They know each other well. But someone's got to go. Someone's got to go. Someone's got to take that risk.
And that all comes back to timing again, Greg. Knowing
Definitely.
when to do it, when to turn up the pace, when to go for that. And will you always have just that 1 eye on the clock, or do you just leave that to your coach?
Leave it to the coach, Malcolm. You've just got to have your eye on your opponent and look for your point. Look for your point. But Gavin needs to really use his benefits. He needs to move, exactly what he's doing there, move and break the angles. That's what he needs to do. He needs to. Yeah, he can see that he's faster. Again, you can see he's faster. He's got to use that movement.
Yeah, Ryan thought he landed there, though.
He did. It was good timing. Probably because he was just a bit bent back. Punch wasn't long enough.
Probably the tensest bout in Group 3 so far
Without a doubt.
as we get closer to the big prize.
Definitely, and that was Gavin's. Great double punch.
One's gone blue, one's
gone
gone
blue.
red.
Yeah.
2 gone blue.
Ah, okay.
Well, the crowd showing what they think of that, and it's really gone up a notch, the atmosphere here at the Troxy for the 10K. And so's the bout now.
Very much so. Very much so. Gavin needs to settle down. The fight isn't over yet. The fight isn't over.
Just get the feeling he's slightly flustered there, Greg. Didn't like the fact the point went the other way.
Hey, look. You know, the crowd are booing. They think the point went the other way. The reality is that
it's done. It's over.
And that's sport. You know, the referees are referees. Whether you think they've done right or wrong, they're never biased. They'll just make a decision. And sometimes you're the beneficiary, Malcolm. Sometimes you're not, and that's the game.
And Ryan J goes through.
He does indeed. Again, as I said, it's going to get tougher for Ryan now, though, because he'll have to be sharper than what he was there. Gavin gave him too much. Gavin should have really just been on him and just started fighting Ryan and just utilised all the training he's done there. He had nothing to lose. That's what he should have done. It's going to be a good match.
Oh, yes, Mitchell thought of Rene Small, and I said Rene was the Rene we knew from the past, back on fire. But Mitchell breezed through his with great technique as well, Greg.
Very much so. It's going to be good. Rene, again, great ability, but again, ducking, in my opinion, ducking too much when he's got... If you've got timing to duck, you've got timing to punch, and you're wasting opportunities.
Mitchell nods there. Rennie didn't get the point, but he nods to say, "Yep, good.
Yeah,
it was a good attempt."
Oh, Mitchell is. This is a movement up and understanding the difference between junior and senior fighting. Mitchell is a top international junior, great junior, consistently getting medals. Now he's getting a taste of what it's like to compete at senior level. He cannot lose. Whichever way this goes, his job here as a coach, I would be saying, Mitchell, just go for him.
Yeah.
Find out what he's got and unload with what you have. Just find out. You know, it's a learning curve for you here. You know, if you beat him brilliantly, I expect you to, but you've got to find out what exactly you've got in the tank.
Because Rene's vastly experienced, isn't he?
He's a vast experienced fighter with lots and lots and lots of competitions behind him. Mitchell is coming up, so Mitchell needs to just unload. And this is exactly what he's doing. Mitchell is a great fighter, great spirit.
And he gets the point there, I think.
Brilliant, definitely. Good point. He's got that first point. Now Rene will have to use all his guile and all his ability. holding for grabbing. So he's penalised for grabbing, no point.
Back to square one now, but maybe that will wake Rene Small out. He hasn't started as confidently as he did in the last round.
He's just trying to work him out. Good, that was a good point. That was a good point. Again, a reverse punch to the face, good timing, good kime. If you watch Rene's stance after the punch, very solid. And that also sold the technique. Again, Mitchell, good point. Good kick, but dropping his head afterwards. Don't want to be there. Don't want to be there. Break away, Mitchell. That's it. Break away. Again, look how composed Rene is.
And the thing is with him as well, you know the hook can come at any time from a number of angles.
Anytime. Again, ducking when he could be countering, blocking. Again, there's that kick. Ooh. Yeah, good kick, good kick. Again, scoring a point when you think the fight has stopped.
Exactly, because the kick that everybody oohed and ahed over wasn't the scoring point. It was the kick that came afterwards underneath.
Because he carried on fighting. Again, this is so important. And this is something that Wayne Otto was brilliant at. He never stopped fighting. He just fought. Again, another beautiful time in there.
Rene's timing has been totally different to last year tonight. Totally different fighter tonight.
Well, he knows exactly what the tournament's about, and he's also in World Championship year and wanting to go to the Olympics, no doubt. So he is really, really building up his program. He's nowhere near where he wants to be for the World Championships, but he's certainly built this competition into his training program, and he knows what he wants to take away from here. No doubt the 10K would be nice, but it's also the fights and the ability to work techniques. Get his timing going. Got the Europeans coming up as well.
Yes, and as you said, it's a big learning curve for Mitchell here tonight with the way that Rene's just managing to shut him out, isn't he?
He is. What Rene's doing, he's just showing his experience. Rene's not faster. You know, it's not faster. Mitchell's a lighter fighter. What Rene has is experience, timing, composure. And that's where he's going. That's where he's going to be. That's where he's going to be beating Mitchell.
Now Mitchell just being looked over by the medics because I think that last strike from Rene maybe just a bit hard.
Yeah, the front hand probably was a little bit hard, but you know, you're doing a combat sport, you're going to get hit. The long and short of it, Malcolm, is that this is the first time that we've had the medics on in nearly 2 hours.
That's a good point, Greg.
Which is just indicative of the class and quality of the competition.
That's a very good point. We've had some incredible bouts, high action, high octane, non-stop, and yet, as you said, still the first time the medics had to have a look at a fighter.
And this is what we need to sell to the public, the ability to fight and still not cause permanent damage.
And Rene now, he's got the opportunity to just smother the work of Mitchell.
He can do.
See this out, hasn't he?
He can do, yeah, and take an opportunity if it arises. That's what he should be doing, because he's still free. He's still one kick away from it being 3-3. So he needs to still stay sharp. Again, look for the point. Oh, beautiful. Oh. Now he really set him up for that. He knew he was coming. That was so clean, so clean. Really good idea.
So Mitchell thought finding it tough in there this round.
It is tough. It is tough. It is tough for him.
Oh, as you said, only one kick away from bringing this back.
Yep. Oh.
Now both times Mitchell was grounded, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Yeah, they're just getting a little bit, not necessarily sloppy, but a little bit lacking in focus. They need to just come back and compose themselves and realign themselves in the fight.
Toughest bout of the group so far, though.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well done, Mitchell. Really pleased with Mitchell's fight there. He gave it his all. Rene, though, is a class act. He is a class act.
Different Rene this round. He did what was necessary, didn't he? We saw all the trademark Rene Small last time, and the big smiles and the flamboyance. This round, it was, let's get through this.
Exactly, and the composure was there. Just very, very composed all the way through. Mitchell was a little bit flustered, a little bit frustrated, maybe showing he's inexperienced at fighting at this level, but that's what he's come here for, is experience.
So now we have Group 2 of the Super 8 Karate Cup for the ladies here. Rebecca Boakes versus Amy Connell. Rebecca in the red, Amy Connell in the blue.
Yeah, Amy, class fighter. Rebecca's going to have her work cut out. She should be looking, if possible, to get that first fight so that she can see if she can take some control. Because if Amy gets it, it's going to be very difficult to come past her.
Well, Rebecca's going for just that at the moment.
Yeah,
Greg.
she is. It's really good to see.
Away they go once more. Boakes doing a good job at the moment.
She is, yeah, she really is. She's giving her definitely putting some pressure on her, Amy. Amy's clearly got her coach in her ear. Just needs to get the pair of them need to get their distance right. Yeah, they're expending a lot of energy, especially going for big kicks, which practically are not going to score. They need to settle down and look to get that first point. It's got to be a smart point.
Greg, we're also getting to the point, though, in the whole tournament and the group stages where, as athletes, you've seen everybody have their moment in the sun. It's taken a while. We mentioned 2 hours before they come on. That waiting game and playing with you psychologically must play a part as well.
That's where your coaches have to get you right. That's where they have to get you right. How to build you up, how to keep you there, how to ensure you don't over prepare, how you don't mentally and physically over prepare. You peak for when you're looking to come on to fight. That's the job of a coach.
And that's all part of the game now, isn't it?
It is. It's not sort of signed across stuff. You need to have a strategy for how you prepare your fighter. It can't just be, well, you ready to go on now and they rock in. It's literally got to be knowing when to start their warm-up, when to cool down, water intake, and then off you go.
And Boakes is very, very busy, but there's a confidence about Connell.
There is. She seems a more composer too. She looks the one more likely to score the point, but she just seems to be lacking, the pair of them, just a little bit of target focus. There's a lack of intensity in the actual delivery and finish their technique. It's almost like their arms and legs are heavy. They know what they want to do, but it lacks that crispness. They need to just settle, and whatever nerves are there, let it dispel out onto the mat and just look for the point. She's won that literally on work rate, Amy.
Yes, very close indeed.
Yeah. Very close, very lucky there.
So our group final, Greg, is Ryan J versus Renee Small.
Brilliant. Well, I'm not too sure about this one. I should imagine that they are very much equally matched in regards to their weight. However, Renee is looking just that little bit sharper.
This will be very interesting.
It's going to come out, but Ryan is a seasoned fighter. He's got great ability, great ability.
Our third semi-finalist will be the one that wins this bout. Getting ever closer to the big 10K. And there's been a confidence about Renee. He's been back to his old self this tournament.
Definitely. He's very, very, very confident here.
Oh, good
That's
timing though.
That's what Ryan does well. If you watch what he does when you attack, he bounces back slightly and then throws his attack. So he doesn't go straight away. He makes you overextend, and it's really one of his trademarks. That's it. Back and gack he does. Back and gack. Boom, bang. There. Very, very good. Very, very, very good technique.
And it's been intriguing, this group, because it started so flowing and so fast-paced, but as the pressures grow, as it's got on them, a bit more cagey, very much closer now as they realise what's at stake.
Very much so. Very much so. Now they know that they can't. There's no room for mistakes. And Rene just scored a beautiful hook kick. Beautiful hook kick. Again, throwing it. No response from Ryan because of the angle that was delivered. Really, really class act there.
A Rene Schmoll trademark kick there, and big points for Rene now. And again, Ryan, we've seen this position before, will have to chase, and we've seen what Rene does to you when you're chasing.
Definitely.
It went to 3 points to 8 points.
Very much so, Malcolm. Yep. Very true, because he has a real arsenal of techniques.
But still time. You wouldn't, if you were Ryan Jay's coach, you wouldn't say panic yet, would you?
No,
You would say,
absolutely not.
Keep your focus. You've got the ability to do this as well. We've
Definitely.
seen you kick.
Yeah, that's it. And Ryan at his best can claw back a fight quite easily, as he's doing there. He just nicks a point there, possibly. Yep, just got a point. That's what he does best. That's why he was winning at junior and world level continually, at European and world level as a junior. He knows how to win fights. It's just that he has to be at his absolute best in regards to his preparation to beat someone like Rene. Yeah?
Well, it's the unorthodox nature of Rene, isn't it? The way that he can stay, as you said, focused when he's right in close and all the techniques are flying, and yet still somehow the hook kick comes up and he's got 3 points.
Definitely. You know, it's just these little margins that make all the difference. At this level, you must be the consummate athlete. Yeah, you can't just get away with just ability at this level. It's got to be preparation. And Ryan doesn't look like he's as prepared as he could have done.
Oh, I thought Rene got through first there again as well, as Ryan chased this back. We'll see what the judges think. I don't think they're going to score. No.
Ryan needs to just keep that pressure on and try and pull him out. He knows the kick is coming, but he needs to try and pull out a technique so he can maybe hit him with that back and gack, so he can pull Rene onto him and hit him with the counter to the face.
But we saw in the last round, one of the other things that Rene does so well is smother, take that clock down, make it difficult for you.
Exactly.
That's the experience, isn't it?
It is. But again, smothering techniques, what he's doing there. And Ryan is now gassing. He's starting to feel that, and so he's going to lose the crispness to his technique. So he needs to just focus and just look to get that clean, clinical point in.
And the glove comes off, as it did in the last round. There's something about Rene's opponents and their gloves.
Good.
Rene switches.
Yeah, good change of stance. Good change of stance there. Good there. Oh, lovely point.
And he smiles. He
probably
looks
just
a bit frustrated there.
Probably a little bit too short there. Probably a little bit too short, the punch. But again, it shows his dexterity. It shows what he's able to do.
And he's taken the bout. The semi-finalist is there.
And he's done it in a very, very composed way, Malcolm.
Ladies and gentlemen, our third semi-finalist tonight, Rene Schmoll.
Now, Rene, it's fair to say, last year's 10K, you were off form. You seem to be right back on it this year.
This is what we say, you always fight with a smile on your face, but tonight, the kicks that you're so famous for were back. It seemed like full stop, you were back. Now, It's as simple as this. You're 2 backs away from the 10K. What do you think of that?
Ladies and gentlemen, he is